Hello everyone, and welcome back to your favorite show for all things gaming and rarely tech related, Gentoo. As always, we're your hosts, Cade Cox
and Chris Young. As we near the end of the month, we have an explosive week with brand new releases.
First up is Monster Hunter Rise. Following the previous entry, Monster Hunter World, Rise sees the series returning to a Nintendo exclusive. Hunt solo or in a party with friends to earn rewards that you can use to craft a huge variety of weapons and armor. Branch new gameplay systems such as high-flying wire action and your canine companion Palamute will add exciting new layers to the already robust combat that Monster Hunter is known for. Releasing on Nintendo Switch March 26th.
Next up, we have one of the most interesting titles to release in a while. It Takes Two is a new game from Hazelight Studios with a massive emphasis on co-op. Invite a friend to join online co-op for free with Friends Pass and experience a thrilling adventure built purely for two. Choose from couch or online co-op with split screenplay and face ever-changing challenges where working together is the only way forward. Releasing on PlayStation and Xbox Family as well as PC on March 26th.
These titles and many more will be releasing on your favorite systems, so keep your eyes peeled.
Next up is Cade with A Different Reality.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow.
Welcome back everyone to a new episode of A Different Reality, where you have to listen to me talk about whatever VR game I'm playing this week. I'm Cade Cox, and this week's game is Arizona Sunshine. Quick math lesson for everyone. Zombies equals good. VR equals great. Zombies plus VR equals good great. Just kidding. But on paper, Arizona Sunshine is a gamer's dream. Being able to fight off hordes of zombies using a variety of weapons and looting cars and buildings mixed in sounds awesome to anybody. But before you get too excited, like this is the zombie game to end all zombie games, let me crash that party. Arizona Sunshine came out in 2016, and when it came out, it was an instant hit with the VR community. There are no doubts that Arizona Sunshine was a great VR game in 2016, but how does it hold up in 2021? Arizona Sunshine is an arcade-style shoot-and-loot game, but I bet you can't guess where it takes place. Damn it. The setting of the game looks fantastic, even though the game is older than my headset. All the textures on the trash, furniture, and all the other random objects in the world look great. The guns also look very clean and sound fantastic as well. The gunplay is very arcadey with the old eject the clip and drop it to your hip to reload style. The guns can all be fired in one hand pretty easily, which makes dual wielding very effective and very fun. The ballistics of the guns on the other hand are very spotty. Sometimes I feel like I can't miss, and other times I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat. In the beginning of the game, ammo is pretty hard to come by, so you need to search cabinets and cars and other areas to stock up for the next horde. Now to talk about the parts that are lacking in this game. First is the enemy variety. If you were expecting multiple different types of enemies to face, like in the very well done Left 4 Dead series, you would be severely disappointed. But if all you wanted were normal zombies that sometimes wear a bikini or maybe even a hard hat, you came to the right place. The guns in this game have two functions: shoot and reload. That's it. And this may not sound like a bad thing, but when you find out that Pavlov, a game with very realistic and detailed gunplay and mechanics, came out only 2 months after Arizona Sunshine, you start to realize what the problem is. Maybe this was a conscious decision by the devs to keep the game simple, but in my opinion, you can't go wrong with more interactions with your weapons. I mean, you can't even two-hand a pistol. Okay, now that the mean part is over, time for what I think the game does a great job of. The story of Arizona Sunshine is about a main character trying to find safety, or anyone alive at this point. We have no idea how long this guy has been by himself. I mean, he talks to the zombies as if they're his friends. He calls them Freddies. He's obviously not doing too hot. But throughout the 3-hour story, you get to see the roller coaster of emotions the main character goes through. You get to see the goofy one-liners fade out and the pessimistic hopelessness take over. But then the hope comes back, and you can feel the emotion in the voice of your character again. You don't know his name, what he looks like, or anything, but this game makes you care about him. And with no other characters or people to talk to, that's pretty incredible. I give Arizona Sunshine 7 out of 10.
Now usually on the show, I discuss a game that launched terribly, whether it's because of the technical issues or the marketing. But today, we're going to take this in a slightly different direction and not talk about one game, but instead one franchise that yielded the worst video game launch ever. We're talking about the Culling. This was certainly one of the most unique situations for games, and if you've never heard of it, honestly, I don't blame you. Back in 2016, the developer Xaviant Games brought out the Culling 1, in which it actually ended up being one of the founding fathers of popularizing the Battle Royale genre. So if there's anything good to be taken away from this, I guess you could technically thank it for bringing up games like PUBG and Fortnite. But sadly, that's where really any shred of goodness ends with this franchise. At launch, this game was actually pretty well received until they started releasing updates and patches which consistently made no sense and drove the general player base away very quickly. As the amount of players of the Culling 1 dwindled and more games took center stage in the genre, Xaviant decided not to try to improve their already existing game, but instead release a second entry out of nowhere to capitalize on this popularity.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
The Culling 2 is when things with Xaviant got really bad. Now why is that, you may ask? Well, this was nothing more than a cash grab that no one wanted. Alongside that, it strayed away from the mechanics of the first game and instead chose to copy other Battle Royale game mechanics almost entirely. Well, except in a way worse way? Man, that was great script writing right there. Now if there's any doubt in someone's mind that this game wasn't a hot steaming pile of shit, then let me tell you that on launch day, the game only pulled in a maximum of 249 players.
But wait, there's more!
Alongside that, just 19 hours after launch, the game had literally 0 people playing. In fact, only 8 matches were ever started due to how low the player count was. Xaviant saw the writing on the wall telling them to shut the game down, and they did just that after a mere 8 days after launch. Oh, you thought it was over, didn't you? Well, think again! After the colossal failure of the Culling 2, Xaviant chose to revamp their first title into the Culling Origins. They essentially just kept the mechanics of the first title, which no one really seemed to mind, but instead, it was the announcement of how this game would be monetized that enraged people. To make this confusing scheme simple, you start out with buying the game for $6, then you are able to play 1 free match a day, but don't fret, you could earn another free match by winning your last match. Now if you lose, well... Actually, I'll just let the head developer at Xaviant explain it instead.
If you want to play more than that, we'll be offering token packs, along with passes that give unlimited access for a week or a month.
Sorry, I just think I'm too stupid to understand this.
Despite the outrage from this ridiculous paywall system, Xaviant insisted that there was nothing wrong with this scheme. In the end, this business model crippled the game even before it was released, and by the time that it did come out, the damage was already done and the game was ultimately shut down after just 1 day.
Is there more in there? Yeah, I think Austin, John, and Cody have more. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Don't leave.
Welcome back to Scrambled Secrets, where we show off the best hidden Easter eggs in video games. I'm video game enthusiast Austin Claypool, and today we'll be looking at Skyrim. Bethesda Studios first released The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim back in November of 2011, and although it's coming up on its 10th birthday, the game has remained relevant through the modding community. Even just the base game has so much content and story to be told, but if you want to 100% the game, make sure you get some snacks because it'll take you roughly 223 hours to complete the game. There are many interesting Easter eggs scattered across the world of Skyrim, so today I'll be showing off the top 5 Easter eggs hidden in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Hidden in a Well is a reference to the 2002 horror film The Ring. In this movie, a demonic girl crawls out of a well to terrorize people. In Skyrim, there is a gold ring deep in a well that is only accessible using no-clip. Whether or not there is a curse that comes along with the gold ring is still up in the air. This next Easter egg is a reference to the hit TV show Doctor Who. More specifically, the weeping angels that can only move when you're not looking at them. This long staircase has these grand statues that will slowly turn to face you. By looking away, taking a few steps, and then turning back, you'll notice the creepy stone figure has rotated. Ugh. This gives me the heebie-jeebies. A Star Wars hidden Easter egg can be found in the Bleak Coast Caves. In Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker is attacked by a wampa and knocked out cold. When he wakes up, he finds himself frozen upside down and about to become the Wampa's next meal. In the movie, he frees himself and escapes, but in Skyrim, apparently he wasn't so lucky. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite game series, so it's nice to see this next Easter egg in Skyrim. At Bard's Leap Summit, you can find a death-defying jump from a wooden plank. This is a reference to the leap of faith players take in the Assassin's Creed games. Another aspect to this Easter egg is the arches having a striking resemblance to the Assassin's Creed symbol. Finally today we have a Minecraft Easter egg. If you make your way to the top of the huge mountain in the center of the map called Throat of the World, you will find a unique tool. Hidden at the top of this snowy mountain is the Notched Pickaxe, a reference to the creator of Minecraft, Marcus Persson, aka Notch. This tool has enchantments on it that raises the player's smithing abilities and also does 5 shock damage to all enemies hit by the pickaxe.
Well, that's all I've got for this episode of Scrambled Secrets. Make sure to tune in next time for even more hidden Easter eggs you may have missed in your favorite video games. As always, I'm your host, Austin Claypool. Thanks for watching.
What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Monkey Plays, where Trenton and I try to survive Rust. Last week, you guys saw us travel to a small oil rig, where we fought our way through levels of scientists, and eventually opened and looted the blue keycard room. Today, Trenton and I are opening the red keycard door, and we will begin to start hacking the red keycard crate. Once we start hacking, a 15-minute timer begins, and a helicopter full of heavy scientists will fly in to defend it. But without further ado, welcome to Rust. So what is a red keycard? A red keycard can be found in 4 different places: the power plant, airfield, water treatment plant, and train yard. When you find a red keycard, you're allowed to use it at 3 different places: the launch site, military tunnels, and oil rig. Trenton and I decided to use it on oil rig was for 3 reasons. The first was that launch site and military tunnels require a puzzle to be completed before opening them, and it's not that we can't solve them or it's too difficult, it's just because they're quite time consuming in regard to the loot we can get. The second reason is because of radiation. Military tunnels and launch site require you have radiation protection before traveling in, while on oil rig requires none. The third reason was because oil rig has the select access to the locked crate. The locked crate, also known as CH-47, is one of the rarest crates in the game, with there only being 3 ways to get one. One's on cargo ship, one's on the oil rigs, and the other is the possibility of them being spawned at any of the major monuments I mentioned earlier. When you find one, you can begin the hacking process. A 15-minute timer will start, and 6 to 10 heavy scientists will fly in on a Chinook helicopter. These heavy scientists are really difficult. They have one of the best aim hacks in the game, I swear. Out of the 6 scientists, 3 of them spawn with M249 light machine guns, which is one of the best guns in the game. I eventually got knocked down by one, and luckily I didn't die. Trenton ended up reviving me, and we finished off the remaining scientists. Heavy scientists have a very broad loot pool, nearly spawning almost everything that can be found in Rust, with an exception to just some things. I managed to find a grenade launcher, and even bullets for it on one of them. After we waited our 15 minutes, the locked crate finally unlocks. Similar to the heavy scientists, the crate has a very large loot pool, almost spawning in everything. Luckily, we got a couple guns, C4 explosives, and I got my first pair of night vision goggles, which I immediately put on because I've never worn them before in the game. They were kinda cool. After that, I jumped off the edge and swam to a boat nearby. Tune in next week where Trenton and I explore the newest update where the game added train stations with an underground working train system. Thank you guys for watching. This week Trenton and I activated the locked crate behind the red keycard door where a helicopter full of heavy scientists came in and defended it. As always, have a good one and we'll see you next week.
Welcome back to another week of Hidden Gems in Gaming. As always, I'm your host, John Taylor, and after doing some digging around after last week's episode, I finally found a game for this week that I know a lot of you will enjoy. This week's Hidden Gem is
the Stanley Parable. This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
The Stanley Parable is a first-person exploration game that starts simple. You play as Stanley, and the narrator tells you what to do. You have a choice. You decide whether to listen to the narrator or choose your own path. This game follows contradiction after contradiction, and the rules that were set by the game are broken over and over. You decide, really, what this game is. Similar to last week's game, The Witness, this game has little to no interaction and is mostly about exploring the different paths you can take, with it being very simple and you either take this path or the other. As you play more and more and get deeper into the game, the choices become more complex and crazy, and what you thought was one thing is something completely different the next time. This game really plays around the aspect of deja vu and really makes you question everything as you continue throughout this game. The Stanley Parable has several endings, and each has their own certain combination of paths to get there. One of my favorite things about this game is the narrator. Going through this game and hearing how he reacts to your decisions of whether or not you listen to him is the funniest thing. And then at some point, you both hit an existential crisis, and he becomes questioning everything, breaking the fourth wall and really becoming desperate to end the cycle. As he becomes more aware of his surroundings and more aware of the game that's happening, he understands that life is meaningless. Wait, I can't seem to remember where I'm going with this. Playing this game is a crazy experience on its own, because there are so many different paths to take, and it's truly venturing down the rabbit hole of madness. You take this path and it leads you back to the same path you were at, but if you take that same choice, it's a whole different experience that time. With this game being a simple game of listening to what the narrator says or not, there's not a big story to the game overall. Or is there? This game released back in 2011 for Windows on Steam, and what started as a mod for the Half-Life games, this was then made into a full release game that added more endings and more depth to the game. Costing $15, this game for the price tag offers a really cool experience. Trying to get all the endings and all the secrets in this game is definitely worth the price tag alone. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Hidden Gem. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week on our next game.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Project Delta. As always, I'm your host, Aaron James, and with me this week we have...
I'm Brad, hello.
Hey, what's your last name, Brad?
Pearson.
Nice, okay, yeah. So Brad's here. We have a very exciting episode for myself because it is relating to my favorite video game series of all time, which would be the Soulsborne games, and From Software is the developer. Yeah. This is Demon's Souls.
This is the first one.
It is the very first Souls game. Yeah. It released for the PS3 back in, 2009?
2009, yeah.
And I never got to play it. I had a PS3 towards the end of its life cycle, but it only saw use for The Last of Us, if I'm being honest, and a little bit of War Thunder, or not War Thunder, Warhawk.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, yeah,
so
good game.
Yeah.
Now we're here on the PS5 with Demon's Souls yet again.
Yeah.
About 12 years later or something.
I mean, I figured whenever they were coming out with the PS5, I was like, system seller wise, I was like, Demon's Souls was definitely the next online to, I figured they were just going to make it an exclusive.
Yeah.
So good on them for doing that.
Yeah, and I personally love it. I know it's just an old game that has been redone, but I was so excited because I played the first Dark Souls in 2011, not long after I'd been playing Skyrim, and it kind of killed Skyrim for me. I loved Oblivion. Skyrim is still a great game, but the reward that I felt from tearing through Dark Souls was unlike anything I'd experienced in a game. I mean, I got destroyed over and over again, death after death, but it was worth it. It was
so over the summer, I had a friend who kind of introduced me to Dark Souls. I knew of Dark Souls, and I started with the second one. I got it from a Redbox one summer,
and I hated it. I absolutely hated the game. I was like, man, like this is just unplayable. And then, you know, I just kind of,
keep going.
over time, you know, I was just like, I need a challenging game. You know, I just, like, yeah. But I was just like, you know, I'm just not really satisfied with any game I'm playing. And he's like, hey, just give Dark Souls 1 a try. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'll do that. And it took me a week to beat, and it was like, I never like have had an experience with a video game like that ever. Like, it was great.
And they say your first Soulsborne game, your first Souls game is your best.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's true, like it becomes your favorite, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like the first time getting destroyed in Souls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely rough. My controller did definitely, you know,
take a beating.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, I beat that one, and you know, Dark Souls 1, it will always have a place in my heart. But I mean, it has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, so wait, I would like to hear about some of that. I just replayed it over Christmas break.
Same here.
On the PS5 because it's in 60 FPS.
Yeah,
Because it had an unlocked frame rate, and it was pretty delicious compared to the 360. Blighttown was
yeah.
disgusting, and now it runs just fine. Still spent no time there, but.
I mean, I think it's just the second half of Dark Souls 1 is the biggest, like, it's my biggest problem with the game. It's just after you beat like probably one of the best bosses in the Souls series, it's a steep decline. And I mean, oh man, that's rough. I know.
You're supposed to be moving
I
a
know,
little faster
I'm so
than
sorry.
that. What's the boss you're thinking of? Is that Ornstein and Smog?
Yeah. After you beat them, the game just kind of takes a 180 on like the being really fun.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have the Catacombs, which is it's near the first like the hub area of the game, like where you first start, and it's like, why is this here? And then you know you have that, and that's a tough area. The boss is a little annoying, but I think he's probably the easiest out of them.
Yeah.
And then you have the Duke's Archives, which is, I think, one of the prettiest areas of the game.
I do enjoy the Duke's Archives. When you come out of the prison cell after the first time you fight Seath and the music starts playing.
Yeah, all those weird like squid monsters are there.
Yep. And while we're talking about that, that's one thing I loved about playing this after having played all these other Souls games, is that I saw like where a lot of the ideas that you see in those later games started. And there's even some things that like aren't in Dark Souls, but then were in Dark Souls 2 that were still from this. Or even in Dark Souls 3 that like they kind of deliberately, I guess, like withheld from Dark Souls, or maybe found a way to repurpose it.
I think like, cause I mean, the first time I beat Dark Souls, I was like, whoa, like this is, oh, come on. Man, that
Brad.
is, I know, I was just right there. I was right there.
You're on fire, dude.
I hate you. But so, yeah, like.
I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. But when I beat Gwyn, the final boss, Dark Souls 1, I was like, whoa, like, I gotta play Dark Souls 2, and then I was like, wow, this is like a piece of crap. Like, this game is bad.
You didn't like 2?
No,
Really?
No, I hated 2.
I enjoyed 2. I had a lot of time on it, not as much as Dark Souls 1, but the PvP was pretty lively on that, and it has some of the greatest like build variety.
It does, it does. It's just, I think the cons outweigh the pros.
Yeah.
And when I play that, I'm just like, every time I play it, I was like, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
You know, I get
that.
Yeah.
You say what? Sorry, I didn't.
Oh no, it's just every time I play it, it's like, you know, I want to get into it, but then I start playing it, I'm like, man, I don't really enjoy this. But then once I beat that, like, cause I didn't even realize I hit the final boss in Dark Souls 2, cause I was like what? Like this is, it's really easy. I didn't realize it was a final boss. I'm gonna wait for this dragon to come on by. But then Dark Souls 3, I played that and I was like, whoa.
Put on warding. You have a spell that will,
I do.
Increase your health or your defense.
I honestly have not played this game as much as you. I need to beat this.
It's probably for the better.
Yeah.
No,
I know what I need to do.
No, you're going. You're there.
Yeah. I need to take the shortcut. I can't believe I didn't do that the first time. Whoa.
Is this the boss? Are you at the Tower Knight? No.
No, I got one more area. Oh shoot. I think there's one more area after this.
Yeah.
I don't trust these guys.
I don't even think you can kill these
like
guys. They look a little out of your league.
Yeah.
Now, so I respect you not liking Dark Souls 2. Personally, I enjoy every single one of the Souls games. Even though, like, I do agree that Dark Souls 2 is my least favorite.
Yeah.
I will say that. But it's like pizza or some, like, you know, even when it's bad, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
Dark Souls 2, while being the worst one, is still one of the better games that I've played.
It's better than, like, Lords of the Fallen. You know, like
dude,
a sad excuse of a game like that. Oh, come on. So far. I got so far. Come on.
Come on, Brad. We're never going to see you kill the tower now.
I know. But then, so once I beat Dark Souls 2, I went on to 3 because I was going to beat them in order. And this was over the summer of 2020. So my goal was to beat all 3 of the Souls games before fall semester started. And I played Dark Souls 3, and man, I hated the game at first. Because armor doesn't matter in that game. It's honestly a fashion game. That's what it is.
That's kind of how it is. Okay, and maybe this is just how I play.
Yeah.
Most of the fashion Souls.
Yeah.
They are fashion Souls.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even this, armor is not that important.
No, it's not. It's more of just you have to be good at dodging, and if not, well, you're going to have a rough time.
Like, I guess there's a point where, like this is from Old King Doran, this armor that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and
I do.
He is, like, almost impossible to kill, and I had to cheese him off a ledge.
Yeah, if he grabs you, he de-levels your character? Is that, no, I'm thinking of King Allant.
Yes, that's
sorry, I got the names all mixed up.
Yeah, you're good.
Let's
this is the dude who has half of Northern Regalia.
Oh,
like,
yeah, okay.
In the mausoleum, you get the key from...
Yeah, from the, I don't know the name. It's
Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar.
Something. Astora?
Yeah, something like that. Come on.
I'm
trying to get a parry, but man, New Game Plus is rough.
And the input delay on this TV.
Oh, I mean,
not to make an excuse for you, because I'm sure you're probably terrible either way.
But yeah, back to what we were saying on Dark Souls 3. I mean, you know, once I beat that game, which it took me a while, I deleted it right after I played it because I was like, I'd never want to touch this again. And then, you know, I guess. I had an epiphany. Why? Come on, dude.
You realized how incredible it was?
Yeah. I realized, I was like, wow. The bosses were great. I mean, I got, oh, come on, man.
Real quick, before we go, because we are almost out of time here on Project Delta. Who's your favorite boss in all of the Souls games, including Bloodborne?
Ooh.
Favorite boss, real quick.
Let's dwell on this a little bit. So you got, I mean, I like Tower Knight a lot. I don't even think we're going to be able to see him.
Nope, we're not.
Yeah, darn. You think you can get me there real quick? You think you can speed run me there?
I can try. But real quick, favorite boss, because we are about out of time.
I'm going to say final boss of Bloodborne.
Final boss of Bloodborne?
Yeah. what's his name? Gehrman. Gehrman the Hunter. Yep. The old hunter, yes.
Pretty awesome fight. The setting and everything is incredible.
Dude, he had my heart racing when yeah.
Now, my favorite, I'm going to throw it out to Sekiro, actually, and give it to Al, Father, where you fight him. Have you played Sekiro?
You know, I did, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I absolutely, I mean, it's a cool delineation from the Souls game, but I mean, it's way too tough. And I mean, I know that's not really an excuse, but man, it's a rough game. Like, if you can't press a button at a specific time, you're not going to enjoy the game.
Oh, I should have ran under.
Oh. Come on,
I'm about to pull a Brad.
Come on, man. Yeah, you are. Yeah, Aaron James, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining us on Project Delta. Thank you, Brad, for coming
sorry
on.
I couldn't beat a boss, man.
Catch us next week on Gentoo on KNWT Channel 8.